Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast. I'm Jeff Thie. We're here in the beautiful Iowa Rock and Roll Music Association Museum in Arnolds Park. We're talking with Jon Pausley of the Okoboji Bible Conference. Of course, coming up again in August. We got some important things to talk about. But Okoboji Broadcast is brought to you today by Brand's Law Office in Spirit Lake, Synergy Chiropractic and Acupuncture in Okoboji, Bloom Leonard Agency in Estoril, and HP Insurance Agency with offices in Sibley and Rock Rapids, Ruthven Meat Processing in Spirit Lake, and Ruthven Beck Engineering in Spirit Lake, and B Radiant Laser Skincare located in Lakes Dermatology in Spirit Lake. All right, Jon, welcome. First of all, isn't this a great venue?
Oh, it's beautiful in here. I love it. Thanks for having me today.
Well, it's a pleasure. Well, you reached out to me for the Okoboji Bible Conference, and there's some exciting things coming up for that. But let's go back.
Sure.
I told you years ago when I was doing Lakes Television, I had the opportunity to interview someone. I can't remember who it was anymore, but it was the 75th anniversary of the Okoboji Bible Conference starting. And I asked you how many years, and you told me what?
86 this year.
86th
annual conference. Yeah, 1935 was the first one that was held.
1935, and the interesting part, and I didn't know this either, is how it started. It started with a radio broadcast and wasn't in the Iowa Great Lakes.
Yeah, no, so a pastor down in Omaha, what was once known as the Omaha Gospel Tabernacle, had a radio program that they put on every Sunday, and because the radio waves weren't clogged then, they shot it all over the Midwest, and people from all over heard it, even on the different coast they heard it. There's stories of sailers out in the ocean that were listening to this broadcast.
Good old AM radio.
That's right.
Went everywhere.
Big spread. And so they said, the listeners started saying, we should get together sometime for a conference. We should do this in person. And well, naturally they chose the Iowa Great Lakes because it's the most beautiful spot there is.
There you go, absolutely. Yeah. And for all those years, all these years later, and you see it as you're up and down here on Broadway in August, and the number of people that come and are very loyal to it, Jon.
Sure.
And with the ministries you have, with the music ministries you have, it is a big deal for this area.
Yeah, I think being 86 years old, there's not many places here that have been doing it something as long as we have.
Right.
So we're kind of one of the originals, if you will. And for a lot of years, we were we come in for a couple weeks out of this summer and kind of open everything up and shut everything down. And about 10 or 12 years ago, our board made the decision, we really want to invest in the community and be a year-round presence here. And so we're trying to do more and more of that beyond just our 10-day conference, which is obviously the biggest thing we do.
Right. So what are some of the plans moving forward here? And before I go any further, now the first one that they held here, was that on the same site?
Oh, well, actually, it was on the site of where the middle school is sitting right now. Yeah, so the first tent that went up was for about 10 years they met where the middle school building sits.
Okay.
And then about in the 40s, I think they bought the property that we're currently on. In the 50s, they built that tabernacle building, what we call the tabernacle building with the round roof on it. So that's been there since the 50s. And now we're just doing some campus refreshment here in these few recently. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the refreshment.
Sure.
Some of the plans coming up here. Jon, exciting stuff. You've shown me some of the drawings and so forth, and it's quite an undertaking.
Yeah, it is. So we want a $2.5 million campaign that we're investing in, and some of it is really to just refresh some of our facilities. So our big tabernacle building, one minor flaw, never had any bathrooms built into it. So we always said
that is a minor flaw.
People enjoy being able to have the restrooms available, and so we always had these outbuildings where you used to go to the bathroom, and those have not just been friendly to elderly folks maybe who had accessibility issues. So we're putting some new facilities on the back of our tabernacle and building some nice new accessible restroom facilities, so it's going to be a great space for people at our conference to not have to go outside in the weather, to be able to have something accessible there too. Good News Community Church meets on our campus all summer long, and so it'll be a benefit to them as well.
Right.
And then we're building a new nursery building. We have an old 100-year-old house that's on our campus that we've been using for a nursery building. And moms, for some reason, they get a little picky about sending their kids in an old musty building. So we're building a nice new space where people can confidently bring their kids to a nursery building. But it's going to be used for that during our conference week, and Good News will use that on Sundays, but for the rest of the year, it's a beautiful space that's going to have a multi-purpose facility. So you could have little mini conferences, meeting space, rental opportunities. Businesses could come and hold meetings, or even just little retreats for moms, for pastors, for getaways, for whoever. We got some options of what we can do with that throughout the year.
Truly, multi-purpose is what you're looking at for facets and for people to use. Tell me about the campaign. How are you raising the funds? The $2.5 million.
Yeah. Well, the thing about our conference is for 85 years we've never never charged a registration fee. So it's all based upon donations. And it's faithfully every year been met. And so that's what we're doing. We're asking the people who are committed to the conference and what we get to do to raise the funds. And so they're going above and beyond their normal giving and raising the funds that way too. Certainly we welcome community contributions, but it's all based upon donations right now.
And that says a lot for the conference, that the many people that come to it. Sometimes when you go to raise funds, all of a sudden people, my pockets are empty.
Right.
And this says something that talked about doing this, and they stepped up because they believe so much in the conference itself and your mission.
Yeah, and one of our goals is saying we want to do this for generations to come. And I think there's a generation now that sees the next generation coming up, and they say this place was an investment in our life and our faith building, but also in the area here, and they love coming to Okoboji, and they want that for their kids and their grandkids. And so I've found that people have been generous in being able to give. And as we're trying to meet the needs of everybody. So the next generation with nursery and multi-purpose space, with elderly we have that come to our campus to make it more accessible and ease of use for them. And then also in the community, because one of the things we're doing is we're putting in a big parking lot, because as you know, parking is a little bit of an issue in the area.
It can be around this area. We tend to get a lot of tourism in this area, don't we?
Exactly, And during our week, it certainly feels that in Arnolds Park area. For people that are coming for us, the rest of the restaurants and other places in the area, that they feel that crunch as well. And so as a blessing to the community, we want to provide some parking onto our campus there, about 120 spaces we're going to be adding.
Nice.
And it's going to be available to the community year round. So we'll use it obviously heavily the week that we're there on Sundays, but for the rest of this year, we want to be able to say, hey, the community, we love this place, we want to invest in it and be able to have that available for businesses, restaurants to be able to use that spots too.
Yeah, and and it is when people, if they're parked on the other side of Highway 71, even with a stoplight, you got to cross that, and sometimes people aren't looking, and you got to worry about that. So the extra parking is going to be very welcome as well.
Yeah, and it'll be right on our campus there, just off of Allen Avenue, just south of Nautical, and that area right back in there. So that's where we're gonna build.
Very nice. Boy, you've got such exciting plans here, John. And
it's great.
Looking forward to it. Anything else that we need to share with?
So our conference this year is coming up on August 1st to the 9th, and because it's open to the public, I think people often have questions, understandably, if they've never been before. Is it a certain denomination? Do I have to register to come? Can I just show up? And no, it's not a certain denomination. It's open for anyone, and really, there's no registration and no fees. You can just come. And I would encourage somebody, if they've lived here in the community, seen it before, and said, oh, I see that's happening, pick a night and come on out. We've got some great options this year as far as concerts go. Our opening concert on August 1st is Sidewalk Prophets. They're a pretty well-known group, great fun group to be able to come and listen to. And the closing concerts, we always have a Saturday night, which is the 7th, and Sunday night the 8th this year. Group Selah on Saturday night the 7th, and on the 8th, if Southern Gospel is your thing, you'd love the Booth Brothers as they come out and share. So it'll be good.
As well as many great speakers and with great messages as well. So people look forward to that too.
They do. And we got programming for all ages. So kids through adults, and we'd love to just have you pick a night, come and just say, I've now experienced the Bible conference and I know what it's about. So
probably be coming to it for year after year after
I
year.
would hope,
after 86, you were talking about generations doing this. I'm sitting there thinking 86, what is that, 3-4 generations? I'm not even sure at this point already.
Yeah, but it's great. But we probably have about 4,000 different people that come to our campus throughout the week. And many of them have made investments here of, either they've bought a house or built a house, they've bought condo weeks, they come and they bring their kids here. And one of the donors who just recently paid for one of our buildings, we had somebody who said, I want to build this building. The story behind that is the nursery multi-purpose building is this donor's grandma made it a point every year to rent a house in Okoboji to bring all of her family and her extended family here for the week of the conference. And that made such an impact on her life. She said, I want to provide this as a place for other people to do the same thing.
That's a testament all to itself there, John.
And beautiful story.
And when you talk about impact, when you talk about that many people coming for during that period of time, tourism is the bread and butter of this area. What an impact that all makes. They're staying somewhere, they're eating, they're whatever it all may be. So it's a huge boon for the Iowa Great Lakes as well in more than one way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we hope that to be the case. And we always tell people, if somebody comes that week and we want to be a light in our community, we want everybody to be treated well. And so maybe that hasn't always been the case sometimes, and we want to make sure that we're changing that tide and getting a new thought process in place.
Fantastic. Again, the dates for it this year?
August 1st to 9th. Yeah, so Saturday, August 1st is our opening concert. We'll close on Sunday, August 9th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, if people want more information, if after they've heard this and they think, well,
Yeah.
why in the world am I not going to this?
Yeah.
You know, so how do they find out more
Sure.
information, John?
Okobojiconference.org is our website. We'll have our schedule is listed there. We've got a couple events leading up to it. We've got a preview dinner that's coming up on the 24th at the Majestic Pavilion, April 24th.
Okay.
Where if they're kind of curious, saying, what's this all about? They can come see the preview dinner, and we'll have some open houses of our new facilities leading up to conference as well. But you can find all that info on okobojiconference.org.
Okay, wonderful. And one last question. What's the timeline on some of these things being
Sure.
done?
So our facilities will be ready for our conference this year. Hopefully be ready by Labor Day so that, which one's first, Labor Day or Memorial Day?
Memorial Day's in
Day, there
May,
we go,
yeah.
May. Yeah. Hopefully ready by Memorial Day. And then parking, we'd love to try and have in place by summer of next year. Some of it's contingent upon funding. We're working on that, but we'd love to try and get it for summer of 2021.
Fantastic. Well, looking forward to another great Bible conference
Yep.
right here in Okoboji and all the other assets that this facility is going to bring to the Iowa Great
Yeah.
Lakes. And so thank you so much for coming in and talking
Thanks
to
for
us
the time.
about it, John.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We thank Jon Pausley for being here with us today from the Okoboji Bible Conference. We thank you, as always, for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast.